Biology. This is Miss Satterley. I'm going to talk about the notes that were posted today over the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is another name for cell membrane, and it's the membrane that surrounds the outside of the cell. It's composed of two parts, lipids and proteins. The lipids that we have inside the plasma membrane are called phospholipids. Phospholipids are a molecule shaped like a head with two tails. The picture here, we actually have a picture of the lipid bilayer, a single polar head, and then more of the structural composition of the tails. There's two parts to a phospholipid. It has one head, which is found on the outside of the lipid bilayer, and it is actually polar. And then the two tails are on the inside, and they are both nonpolar structures. Phospholipids make a double layer called the lipid bilayer. It results from the pushing and pulling of phospholipids by water. Water is a polar substance, so the polar side, or the head side of the phospholipids, will actually mix with water, but the nonpolar side doesn't. So that's why they actually form a double layer, because the two polar heads on each side agree with water, but the nonpolar is resistant to it. It's fluid like a soap bubble. Vesicles are able to enter and exit the lipid bilayer because of this composition. The second part the plasma membrane is made up of is called cell surface proteins. Cell surface proteins are proteins within the cell membrane. They are usually polar and they're embedded in the membrane. They're unable to sink or float to the top, so they're stuck there inside the membrane because of the nonpolar middle. There are three types: channel proteins, receptor proteins, and marker proteins. Channel proteins form a donut-shaped channel. This is caused by the nonpolar amino acids found in the channel protein. Channel proteins allow certain substances to pass through them, such as sugar, amino acids, or ions. Just a reminder, ions are either negatively or positively charged elements. Channel proteins only fit certain types of molecules, though, so they only allow certain things to go through. Nerve cells have channel proteins that are specialized for sodium ions. Receptor proteins is our second type. Receptor proteins are specialized to transmit information from the outside world to the cell interior, or the cytoplasm. One end of the receptor protein actually sticks out of the cell membrane itself. Receptor proteins have special shapes for certain receptors, and your body is able to control the receptor proteins by changing the shape of them, and it will let things either attach or not attach to it. Receptor proteins will usually attract hormones or attach to hormones, which are chemicals that are secreted by tissues called glands. Hormones is how your body communicates with itself. Our last type of cell surface protein are called marker proteins. Marker proteins are proteins that have long exterior arms with attached carbohydrates. If you see, the glycoproteins and glycolipids are structures that have carbohydrates attached to them. So those are in the picture right there. Marker proteins are sometimes called the name tag of the cell. They're able to identify that they are your cells and they belong in your body, and also what type of cell they are. Your immune system is actually going to use marker proteins to identify foreign marker proteins. Sometimes people can get autoimmune conditions where your body will attack certain cells, and that's because it's unable to read the marker proteins the way it's supposed to, so it may attach certain cells. That's how autoimmune conditions work. That's the last slide. It was just a short lesson for today. I'll have a lesson over passive transport tomorrow, which is Thursday, and I will have one over active transport on Friday. And then I'll have a homework assignment that will cover the Google Forms on Monday that will be due on Tuesday. There won't be a quiz over this because of Thanksgiving break. So when we come back from break, we'll start our new topic, but I will have a homework assignment that goes with it. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.